Go.
Is this working?
My name's Richard Bartell. I'm a new resident to Arlington County. I just noted recently, I've only been here about a year, that the Washington Post editorial board on March 18th outlined a problem in Virginia in which about 900,000 people in the state have their driver's license suspended at this point in time because they're having to pay oppressive fines and fees in the court system. In fact, they call this the criminalization of poverty in the various articles. I have an adoptive son here in Virginia that's caught in this cycle, and he can't get a job. He can't get a duplicate ID card. He can't get a driver's license. He can't get a duplicate of a previous ID card in another state because of the National Drivers Register picks up this information and prevents him from doing it. And I'm just curious as to what the state is doing at the motor vehicle department level and so to assure that the judges in the district courts here realize that these fines that they're imposing on people may be on people who can't afford to even pay half of the fine, much less the whole fine involved with their driving violations. As a new resident on another issue, I wanted to point out that it startles me that the legislature, even the legislators here, can't find out what's going on in Richmond on a daily and weekly basis.
That's what I hear.
With the technology today, you can watch a YouTube video of what's going on in Pakistan right now, but you can't see what's going on in your own committees. It's just amazing to me.
It's on purpose.
Oh.
The more people join my caucus, the more you'll see. So encourage everyone to do this.
So I thank you very much for the time.
My sense is that Delegate Boysko has been probably the most involved in that issue, and I think if you could connect, and she's in the best position to work with other legislators to
Yeah, I'll be happy to follow back up with that, bring that to the attention of the folks involved in the study to ask that we add that component into it. Thank you very much for that.
she's from Herndon.
And I'll give you my card.
Well,
You can get her card.
it would be nice if some more legislatures that have influence over a period of time that pay attention to the issue.
Is that the Transportation Committee? Yeah, if you could get in.
I sit on the transportation.
Okay, we have another champ. You have a
Over
lot
a
of
period
champ.
of time, instead of raising taxes, the court fees have been raised again and again and again. And these are mandatory fees, and what you're talking about is in part result of that.
Okay, we're running out of time. If the next lady could you make it a question and
I will make this quickly,
yeah,
and
give
I will
us
make
your
it a
name
question.
and
My name is Kimberly Jenkins Snodgrass. I'm a constituent of Prince William County. I'm a resident of Gainesville, Virginia. My son is currently incarcerated at Red Onion State Prison in Pound, Virginia. I want to commend all you guys. Some of you I have never heard before, but Delegate Plum, you mentioned minimum wages. I commend your work. Delegate Jim Munyon, you talked about, I know I've been following you about FOIA. So my question is going to be to you about Bill 432, because that bill is about letting police department have the discretion of whether or not they release information on a case that's closed. And the bill is for them to release the information. So I would like to know where you stand on that. And before you answer that question, Delegate Hope, I do have a question to you that we can sidebar about the length of time of solitary at Red Onion State Prison. I hope that was quick enough.
It was.
You're good. I'm not. Or you just turned it on. Yeah, I'm not familiar with 432 off the top of my head. Is that a House bill or a Senate bill? And while we're talking, I'm trying to look it up here on the
It's a House bill.
website.
It's a House bill.
From this year?
Yes. It would require police to release the information of cases after the case is inactive.
Yeah, I'm happy to look up the bill and see what happened to it, if it passed or not, but I'm not familiar with it off the top of my head.
Okay, thank you.
Could you get his card and follow up with him?
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, right here.
Hi, I'm Ann Solomon.
Ann Sullivan, okay, what's your question?
Senator Bartlett, this is just one thing to.
We can't hear you.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Speak loud.
Speak a little louder.
All right, I'd just like you to consider, one thing about firearms, which spooked me. And, with all the discussions that take place, could you just please give us a voice, the ones who are uncomfortable with a firearm in the room even? I mean, that's just, it's my right, I would think, to have that consideration. So, I know it's a tough fight. But I also have one other thing. I know that taxes are really bad subject, but I just don't understand it. I don't mind paying taxes. It means I have some income. And I feel like there's so many discussions about how much money we can spend because nobody wants to raise taxes. And people are being neglected. That's, we all know that.
Okay, I think Senator Barker's gonna solve those problems.
Oh.
That's why he wore his special tie today. Thank you. He heard you. He's a good guy. He'll do his best on that. Ma'am, what is your question?
I'm Adair Strahan. I'm with the League of Women Voters.
Okay, good. Welcome.
And thank you. I'm trying to get the people registered and to
Yes.
vote. But I was there at the pre-session that was held by the League of Women Voters of Virginia, of which I'm an officer at the state level and at the county level. So I'm very appreciative to be here and listen to what you have to say. I have two very quick things to say. One is regarding the fact that the amount for a felony is $200, and we are close to the bottom when it comes to that. Most states, I think we're 48th, 49th, or 50th, we're really done. We're really done. Okay, so that is not something to be very proud of. Most states are between $500 and $1,000, and many studies have been conducted that have shown that there has been no fiscal impact in increase of felonies as a result. And I would be happy to come down to Richmond to testify. The second thing I'd like to talk about, which I came a little late, I'm sorry about that, is about the two prisons we have for youth. I think one of them is Bel Air, I'm not so sure, because the pre-session was in December. And those are costing us $50,000 a year, which is a lot more than state prisons. And they found that for each, and these are for juveniles, okay? And studies have shown that for each year a juvenile, and those are little kids, I'm a grandmother, so I think of them as kids. Each year they're learning how to become better criminals, which is not great. The third thing I want to say, I said two, but this is just a word. Are you, okay, is just that we are a Fairfax County Reentry Council, and we have a family unification evening for those who are going to be released within 3 to 6 months, which is working very well.
I can announce that Delegate Lemunion has an answer on that, if you keep it very short. The previous question.
Yeah, our website actually works, even on an iPhone. I'm looking for the woman who asked the question. But,
Right there.
Oh, okay. That bill is going to be considered this year by a group known as the Freedom of Information Act Advisory Council. And that council is in the middle of a 2-year review of all the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And that bill, among several others, was referred to the council so that it could be considered as part of that overall review, not as a kind of a one-off step. So you might want to check the FOIA website, because there'll be a number of meetings probably starting in May and throughout this year, and there'll be an agenda on there to tell you what bills will be considered. So if you have any comments, want to appear publicly or send them by email, you can do that. And I know all that because I'm actually chairman of that group.
Keep in touch with the delegate on that.
Hey, John, on the woman after that's testimony, the governor had a plan to close, it was in the budget to close the 2 juvenile facilities, and it did not become law, but we are working on planning 1 new facility now, so it's slower, it's the Virginia way, but we're gonna get there, because she's exactly right.
John, Ann, I wanted to respond to regarding the guns in public places. One of the things that I've instituted along with Senator Serval is we are having all of our public meetings in schools. So right now in schools in Fairfax County, you can't bring weapons into the school, so everybody feels a lot safer. I know it's a concern for our constituents.
Well, I'm Carla Peterson. Is this on?
Yes.
Carla Peterson, Virginia Fair. I did have a question for Delegate Lemunion, but I think other people could possibly answer it.
No, I'll speak for Jim.
Right there, right there.
So do I just stay for that one question? He's out the door, go ahead.
After a number of years with CURE, I have seen a Governor's Academy